Welcome back to the Chairs, Resident Evil discussion. We are on Resident Evil 5. This is part 4 of the Resident Evil Chairs.
I can talk this time!
Yay! Before we get into it, Resident Evil 5 came out as our first next-gen Resident Evil.
Yep.
I will say that it was next-gen. You can look right at it and tell that
It is
people
next
were
gen.
freaking out. Remember the screenshots. Before
I remember the
anything
trailer,
else,
and I was just like, "This is gonna be fucking sweet."
there were things that didn't make it into the game that I seen in the screenshots that disappoint me. One, there was a screenshot of Chris on top of a bus, like shooting down into a crowd of hundreds
that never made it
of
into the game.
zombies.
It wasn't even a cutscene.
Yeah.
And they were trying to like climb up, and you could tell. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like
It
They
was
wanted to
basically that whole feeling of desperation. It was like, "Oh no,
Okay.
I'm gonna die,"
They
which was
said,
gonna be awesome.
They also said since it was in Africa and it was supposed to be really hot, you were going to have a meter where your guy would actually,
Dehydration.
you could actually, you were supposed to be able to
remember that.
dehydrate
And pick
you were
up
supposed to be
water
able
and
to find
stuff.
water and different things like that. So you would have to watch your nutritional health as well as your physical health.
I remember that.
Which,
Now, can I bring something up real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
What the hell happened to Chris once he left Raccoon City? That motherfucker hit the gym.
No, it wasn't in Raccoon City because he shows back up. He shows back up in Code Veronica, and he's not that big.
No,
He
He's
fucking...
still tiny.
it
Chris.
was
Hey,
it was
guys.
after Code for
I say tiny. He was never tiny. He was always a bigger guy.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
he
but
was,
he
I
was
think,
not
ex-Air
big
Force,
type,
right?
You know?
I don't even remember.
If I
but he-
remember, he was ex-military.
I'm not 100%
I remember
sure.
that he was ex-military because him and
Regardless
Barry
of what he is,
served together.
that
Look,
was like
he came back,
steroids.
But he was kind of
He
beefy,
thought-
but then he joined BSAA and fighting terror or bioterror across the world. All of a sudden, he's just like,
It was
he-
ridiculous.
he thought-
You're talking. Okay, he was in shape. You're talking.
he was fit, and now he's just like, Hulk smash!
Actually, I was just about to reference. It's like the 1960s Hulk show where the little skinny guy would run off the screen and then
And Lou Ferrigno shows up.
And he was like, "Ooh!"
Now,
And that's exactly what I felt like. I didn't know he was Chris. People were like, "Oh, that's Chris." And I was like, "That's not fucking Chris. That's a new guy."
until
Chris
they're
is
like,
not that
Chris
big.
Redfield, and you're like, get the fuck out of here!
Chris was like, I'm tired. I mean, if I'm going to fight zombies, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to punch them.
Now, here's
and
the
by a
question I've
muscle,
got.
they'll die.
I didn't...
Actually,
like we-
Chris does do the straight punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask. Did Leon have the melee combos in
Yeah.
He had a kick.
He did.
He had
And
like
a
a
suplex.
suplex.
Yeah.
And in a very, very weird circumstance, there was like this weird uppercut punch.
Oh yeah,
But it doesn't
like,
happen very often.
Chris is just... You fucking shoot
Yeah,
him in the knee, and
Chris
you're like, ooh! He goes up behind him, and he's like, crack!
Chris doesn't kick anybody.
Chris...
He's got calves from hell, and instead, because his biceps are out to like fucking
He's
here,
too
he's
big.
just like,
He's too big. That's
His
just
kick
like,
would be like this, he'd be like...
That's just like when people talk about the Spider-Man movie and how they hate Venom because he wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. If they'd have done that, he would have looked awkward as shit trying to climb up a wall. Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't swing from webs and do 6 backflips with a wiki kick. Okay,
With a
it would
wiki
look
kick.
awkward
I
as
get in your
shit.
face and I punch in your butthole.
So when they did Venom, it was important to make him bigger than Spider-Man.
but
He's
not
physically stronger,
ridiculous.
but he still has to be believable. And I'm not defending Venom. Please don't freak the frig out, internet people, because I don't like that Venom.
Yeah.
But I understand where the thought process was.
Eric
If
Foreman
Chris-
cannot be
If
Venom.
Chris was throwing down Raiden kicks, I'd have been like, "This is bullshit."
No, I wasn't
Okay.
thinking about riding kicks, but you know, like
Now-
he could have done like a straight kick at
Now,
least.
okay,
Like,
kicks.
yeah, like a boot to the chest.
He could have
been like, out me way.
if
Walk in here.
Now, you were talking about how Resident Evil 4 was an escort mission. In this game, you have a partner with you because this was the first time they did co-op. But if you're playing by yourself,
It is
it's
the worst
another
thing.
escort mission. It's another escort
it's not even
mission.
an escort mission. It's please don't die. Please don't die.
Because
please don't
Sheva
be a fucking
Alomar
retard and
has
die.
weapons.
Yeah.
You can give Sheva Alomar body armor, and she will get downed by the lowest ranking zombie. And out of it, he'll just walk up and be like, and she's like, Help me! I'm dying! And
You're like, God damn it!
Sheva, how many zombies have you taken out? Not even one. I'm taking out half of them by punching them.
It's funny actually because when I play as Chris, I keep getting my ass kicked. Like Chris is so big that everything is hitting me. I'm like, I'm trying to run by a guy.
And he's like,
Yeah, the dude's just like, nah, you ain't going nowhere.
When I decided to take
I didn't have that
steroids,
problem.
Now, when I played 2 players, I was almost always.
you played as Sheva and I was
wasn't that
Chris.
I
I
picked her, it
gave
wasn't
you
that I picked
Shiva
her.
because I would rather be Chris.
But Sheva, like, okay, those big dudes would come at me, and I would just like run in between them. Like there could be 2 big dudes with hammers, and I'd be like, nope, ain't gonna happen. I go right in between.
Yeah, and
them.
while you were running in between them, going, "Oh no!" Because
when I played through that story, I played with my brother-in-law, and he's like, "Oh, I'm being Chris. I'm not being Sheva."
I like the agile
Okay,
characters. in
fine.
general.
I said I'll be Sheva. That's fine. We got all the way through the game. You know, we got all the stuff. Sheva gets the most broken weapon in that whole
bow.
entire game. A tribal bow and arrow that kills almost anything in one shot.
it's like, wait, is that a
There's
hammer guy?
Now
You
there's-
killed the shit out of me way too many times.
There's no
arrow.
There's no aim
Victory.
on it. You just gotta figure that
you
out.
gotta know.
But
it's just an instinct.
If you're
after a
getting
while.
swarmed, you climb up a ladder and do this.
Now Chris,
It's true. It's
Chris is a little
method.
different.
Chris
is
is
like,
the worst gun in
he's
the
like,
whole game.
let me take
Chris
this
gets that
chain
Gatling
gun.
gun, which people think is really cool, and it's fun.
It's a cool gimmick.
It's fun for it's fun as a gimmick, but it's not
If
very
you're playing
usable.
seriously,
You're dead.
you're like,
Well, first
Oh no,
off,
I was about to say, there's only one time that shit has ever come in handy. And that's when you get into the first house if you're playing on co-op with somebody who knows what they're doing. You take it and you just essentially set it as a barrier and you go, start picking people off, quick. That's it. They'll walk up, what is this? There's like a wall here! And that's it.
now,
gun.
Yeah.
speaking of the first house you get to, when you're on that first mission you're with Sheva, I don't know if it's a glitch or what, but the axe guy, the executioner that breaks the gate down, he's like, "Brrr," and you're like, oh no! I killed
that
that
guy.
guy. I killed that guy before he broke the fence down, and I could not proceed in the game. I had to start over because the axe guy has to break the fence
He
down.
didn't break the fence. You killed him too fast. We're like,
That's when you're like,
how do I get this fence
Yeah, I was
open?
about to
I
say,
guess
I never
it
had
wasn't
that
enough
problem.
roids.
Yeah, I was about to say, I never had that problem because I always kill the zombies and go, please got ammo, please got ammo, please got... Okay, good, now I'm set.
Now see
All right,
though,
let's sit in
with
the corner.
Resident Evil 5 though, ammo wasn't as scarce.
Oh, it wasn't.
Well, no, it was
Because
more of a
I'm
running
gonna
gun.
open this random dresser.
It became
Shotgun
an action
bullets,
game.
you
There
know,
was
like-
not one moment in all of Resident Evil 5 that had me uneasy.
It
Not
was
once.
It was like, oh, I'm running low on ammo.
I never had that heart speed up. I
Punch.
never had that worry. I never had that panic.
Yeah,
like
I
I'm surrounded.
agree.
I have 15 bullets.
The only
I'm
time I
fine.
got panicked is when I had to run back through a horde of people I already dodged to heal my worthless computer teammate so she could come up, get
Right,
down
and
15 feet later, and I
that's
have to go
not-
back and do it
that's
again.
not a
Oh
good
no,
reason to
that's if
panic.
you're lucky and the axe guy doesn't just whopper once.
So that's not a good reason to be panicked. That's a terrible reason to create panic in your game.
Oh, it's not even panic.
should have
It's more like
panic
irritation.
Panic should come from. No, he's right. I did panic.
Yeah.
When your partner is so bad, then if they die, you lose.
It's
and
a
you're
different
almost,
panic, though.
You're almost through, and then she's dying. You're like, ah! And you're running back and you're freaking out because you can't
Now,
get to her. That's the wrong type of
panic
panic.
you
Yeah,
wanna
that's the
feel.
irritation.
The panic you want
Right.
to feel is when you're like 8 years old playing Resident Evil for the first time and that dog jumps through the window.
That's what
and you're
I
like, oh! I literally...
That's what you want. You want
Scream
that
the
shit
first
your
time that
pants.
Yeah,
Fly
I
out
dropped
of
my
your
controller.
chair.
We were talking about that. I literally dropped the controller on the floor because it jumped me so bad.
Or the first time you run into a liquor and it hits you with that tongue, you're like, what do I do?
You
You're
die,
just like,
bitch.
No, that's the only reason why I was ever worried about ammo. I was like,
Alright.
this dumb motherfucker needs ammo. Do it.
That
Pop,
The
pop.
best part about
Okay,
that game,
done.
though, the best part about that game, though, is fully upgrading a weapon, getting infinite ammo for it, and then giving it to Sheva and going, I never have to worry about
Yeah,
it again.
yeah. After that, then I wasn't worried about it. But
Well,
the
you gotta
first
make
couple
sure it's a
playthroughs, I was
useful
like,
gun.
The worst problem, though, the bow is the most powerful weapon in the game.
Yeah.
If you
Yep.
give it to Sheva, she won't use it. She'll
Yeah.
switch to her pistol.
That's why you
Yep.
take her
If
shit.
you give Chris the Gatling gun, He won't use it. He'll switch to the other gun.
That's smart, though.
One of my big issues with the game is that you couldn't pick who you wanted to use. You play one player, you play Chris.
Once you beat the game, you can switch people.
Yeah?
Yep. Because once I beat the game, I was like, okay, Chris, you're done. And Chris, as a co-op partner, is a lot more reliable.
I always played
Sheva
with, I always
is.
played with people.
You take the guy with steroids.
Chris has been bumping roids to become Arnie.
Well, see, I played part 5, and I never beat it on my own because I don't like the partner system. I hate it. I can't stand it.
In fact,
I like the partner system. I
beat
just
it.
don't like the fact that if you play single player, you're forced to have the AI, and if they die, you're fucked.
That's the partner
The worst-
system. That's what I'm
the
talking
worst-
about. I like the co-op of two
like a-
people.
the
Real
worst-
people.
Like a co-op partner system, I like.
The worst part of the AI partner system is the last fight with Wesker in the volcano.
Oh,
Because
God,
you have
yes.
to save Sheva, and then she's up there, and Wesker's like, now you die! And I'm like, little help, and she's like, Chris! That's the pistol you started the game with! I took it away! I got this fully upgraded sniper rifle, but Chris! And I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Oh, no, and the worst part about that fight is you're like trying to run past Wesker at this one spot. You're like, oh, dicks! And he just goes, smack dead. Full freaking life. He goes, dead.
Hey!
Be defeated.
We're in a volcano, Chris, and steroids don't protect you
I
from
got a
molten
question.
hot magma.
Oh,
I got a
no,
question.
he never even hit me in the magma.
I did.
I got hit by the little chain whip, or the blade whippy things. Hit me once, killed me. I was like,
I know that they changed it to be an action game. Okay.
No.
They tried to keep the fear element, but it never felt the same.
never
well, it's
there.
because
Yeah.
it was
There
an
was a
action game. It was
nostalgic
run and gun.
factor.
Yeah, it was more of a nostalgia. I was playing it because it was called Resident Evil.
Well, in the
Now, I
game,
have an
Chris.
issue.
but
What is Wesker's problem?
What do you mean?
he hates everything.
No, he doesn't hate everything. He hates Chris.
Oh, it's because Chris defeated him. That's
He's got
the
a
entire
grudge.
reason.
That's literally what it
Chris
is.
ruined his plans.
In the
Wow.
And it caused,
Yeah,
and it caused him, and it caused him to turn into a monster. So that he
No,
has
what
this
caused him
utter
to turn
hatred.
into a monster was to punch that damn missile and be like, I'm gonna be Venom one day! And it didn't work out that way, and he just got whippy arms of stupid games.
No, I was talking about like the ridiculous shit that he does.
Yeah, the
Code
Wesker
Veronica.
poke. The Wesker
The
poke.
Matrix dodge.
The
Where he's just
Wesker
like,
poke.
dodge. Oh,
Look,
can't hit me. Can't
okay.
hit me. Dead.
The fight in the crypt against
Yeah.
Jill and Wesker, which sucks with a computer teammate because
God.
Sheva likes to get in Jill's face and be like, I've got a machine gun! And Jill's like, get the fuck out of my face, bitch! And she just kicks her. She's like, Chris! It's,
Fuck out of my face.
if
It's like, I'm gonna leave you there until you're absolutely about to.
I was
be
running
dead,
back
be
to
dead,
Sheva to
and
heal
then I'll
her.
heal you.
I was running back to Sheva to heal her. I'm fucking running like this. Chris is like, Jesus, I gotta take a dump or something. I don't know what it was. I come around the corner.
Always
I come
goes in
around-
constipation.
I come around the corner and Wesker goes, Chris! And just fucking ends me. Wesker poke, and Chris is like, ah!
Wesker just does the whole Kalima.
He doesn't even give you a chance. He doesn't even say Kalima and let you know it's coming. He's just like, hey, buddy, how's it going? He's like, oh,
So
no.
wait, I never beat the first Resident Evil. So we're talking. So what? So it's Chris's fault that Wesker's bad as fuck.
In a sense.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you're a
That
monster.
doesn't make sense to me.
Now,
He took that crap of his own accord. He doesn't even try to stop you in the first game. That's an ignorant storyline. It makes no sense. He's in that room. He gets slapped, and then he's like because fucking Tyrant slapped him. He's like, fine, and he just got up and left.
So what I'm
You can
getting.
walk over to the spot where he was, and he's like, "Where's Wesker?"
So like what I'm getting at is like that entire time in Resident Evil 5.
Face was priceless. Where's Wesker?
That annoying fight with him at the end is nothing more than him being a crybaby.
It
Basically.
really is.
And supposedly, get this, Wesker falling into lava, being hit with 2 rocket launchers. Supposedly, Albert Wesker did not die in the volcano.
If Chris is the cause of that, I'd be thanking him.
I don't know if it's canon, but I have heard that Wesker did not die in the volcano.
Who knows? He didn't show up in 6. Thank God. Well, actually, no, I lied.
Dead or not,
The second
because
reason
they're
why he
doing
hates
a
Chris,
reboot, because they're doing a reboot, whether he's dead or not,
he's back.
he never came back.
Really?
Right, because they're rebooting from game 1. So when he does show back up, it won't be because he didn't die. It'll be because it never happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's old school Wesker. I think the other reason why he hates Chris is because of Code Veronica. Him and Claire prevent, or Chris and Claire prevent Wesker from getting together with Alexia Ashford or whatever the fuck her name is.
Okay, so why
to make
isn't
the ultimate?
why isn't he all butthurt running after Claire then?
Chris, you cock blocked me. I will have my revenge.
Okay, here's another thing. When I started the game, I was
Well,
okay
not
playing
exactly
Sheva,
like that, but yeah.
But my issue, I got Chris. The whole game, all I was doing was like, where's Jill? And I kept seeing that person, and I was like, I have a feeling
That was another thing I got
that that's
pissed off
going to be
about.
Jill.
The blonde,
The lady with the bird
blonde,
mask.
yeah, but it's like the blonde chick with the, I guess, latex zip-up suit.
I don't have an issue with that.
The suit looked good, but the blonde hair was stupid.
It was because of the same reason Wesker's hair is all.
That thing on her chest dyed her hair.
Yep.
Yeah, they.
That's retarded.
Magical hair dyed chest piece.
Welcome to the world of creating storyline for video games.
Now, Jill, we're gonna put this on your chest.
He didn't-
We're gonna control you.
He didn't ask
It's not like he was like,
just like
now, how are you doing today, Miss Valentine? I just want to let you know what's going on in this procedure here. And she's like, let me go. Let me
Let
you're
me
gonna
the
explain
fuck
this to me?
go.
Okay.
Now, when I put this on your chest, I will be able to control you. But there's a side effect. It does dye your hair.
Controlling me is not a side effect of this?
No.
No.
No,
That's
it's
the
not a
actual
side effect.
purpose
It's
of
the
it.
main effect. The
The
side
side
effect
effect is you're gonna be blonde.
gonna be blonde.
Why?
Yeah,
we
she
actually don't know.
Wasn't she kind of a redhead?
Like reddish brown.
Now,
She-
the
she
actress,
was kind of
the
a-
actress
kind
that
of
portrayed her in the first game was like a
She was
dish, like dirty dish blonde, right?
No,
I'm almost positive she was blonde, girl.
I don't think so.
I'm almost
If
positive.
she was blonde, it was some dark blonde hair.
the actress, not
The picture on her card, right? Is that what you're talking
when
about?
you very
No,
first,
the live action
the
part.
opening live action movie of
Oh,
the
okay.
first game. I'm pretty
We'd
sure
have
the
to boot
actress
long.
was
it. We'd have to
blonde.
boot it up, but I'm pretty sure she had darker hair than just
Now,
dirty blonde.
there is one thing I want to talk about before we run out of time. Mercenaries mode.
That was
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah.
Mercenaries mode. Look, Zoom, who's not here with us today, he's at Gen Con, obviously.
He's a beast.
He is a beast at Mercenaries mode, okay?
He's actually good enough to play on the leaderboards with some of the foreigners.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's
Wow.
beat Japanese people, let's just put it
Yeah.
that way.
And
But
they're
Zoom-
That's a feat in its
Zoom
own.
and I
They
on my
own the leaderboards.
Zoom
on
and
that.
yeah, oh yeah. Zoom and I have beat every stage with a triple S rank. Every single one.
I sucked
Yeah.
at the Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries. Resident Evil 4 I perfected, but 5 I couldn't do it.
But
I-
Mercenaries mode
I
I
don't
just
know
thought
why.
was amazing. And then that gave them the chance to be like, oh well, they didn't put this guy in the game. There you go. You want to play as Wesker? You want to be retardedly broken? Here's
I wanted
Wesker.
That was
Barry.
the only reason I
They put
played
Barry-
Mercenaries.
I know. That's
And
the
I'll be
only
honest,
reason why I
until
enjoyed it.
Gold came out, the reason I played Mercenaries was because I could be Jill again.
Yep.
I've been waiting for. I played part 1.
And
I
they
played
gave
as Jill.
you-
I played part 3.
They gave you
got my Jill back. and
BSAA
they took her
Jill.
away.
They gave
Yeah.
you the BSAA
She
Jill, the
actually-
blue ball cap,
yep,
and the brown
yeah,
hair.
No, that was that was.
And then that
it was
leading
retro.
up
It was
towards
retro from her original suit from the stars, but it wasn't.
Now,
Star.
if you
it's
got
now-
gold edition, you got more people. Resident
Yes.
Mercenaries.
I played
Something.
as Rebecca.
Yeah, you
Rebecca,
can
they put
Rebecca
Barry in the
Chambers.
game with his ridiculous revolver.
And they gave me one
Cannon.
of the worst costumes in gaming history.
You don't like his life vest? The Marty McFly one?
Don't
No,
open
I
that
don't
door.
like the downloadable
But
special
Barry-
costume where he looks like.
I bet Mr. T? What?
The red, white, and blue fucking faggot suit. You guys haven't seen this?
No.
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 You're fortunate as fuck.
Now,
You know what? When we get done with this, we need to boot
One of
that
the-
up
one
real
of the
quick. That
things
way we
that-
can see it.
one of the things
It's
that blew my
dreadful.
mind,
I want
though,
to see it.
one of the things that blew my mind, though, well, of the couple things. One, Rebecca's fucking terrible, and I don't care what you say. She's horrible
It's
in
a
that
nostalgic factor.
game. It's
Yeah.
nostalgic that she's terrible.
Nostalgic
Yeah.
terrible.
The
Terrible
one of the best
nostalgia.
one of the best characters in Mercenaries Plus, I think is what they called it or whatever, is Josh, the black BSAA guy that's knows Sheva.
Okay, yeah.
Look, Josh, Chris punches people, Sheva kicks people, Jill kicks people. Josh suplexes the shit out of people.
Yeah, but
Boom!
I've heard out of every single
Defeated.
person in that game, one of the easiest people to get the S ranks with
Hunk.
is supposed to be Hunk because he has the neck breaker.
Break, snap,
and it even
snap,
works
snap,
on
snap,
the
snap.
chainsaws.
Wow.
Well, it
Do they
depends on
have-
how you
I've
combo.
heard
It
that
depends on how
if
you combo
If
it.
you have a guy that works with you, you can run into the middle of zombies on purpose. They can start taking kneecaps, and you can just go through the crowd.
Start
Pop,
snapping people's
pop,
necks.
pop,
See, that's
pop.
exactly how Zoom and I did it because I'd play as Jill with the Scorpion.
Yep.
And-
Taking the kneecaps.
Zoom would be playing as Chris, the first Chris from the game,
Yeah.
and just run through crack, 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 breaking
Yeah.
necks because melee kills gave you time.
And Hunk.
And the more you
Hunk
chain
can
together,
even
you
do
get
it.
more time.
Hunk can even do it to the chainsaw people. When the chainsaw people are like, ah! He could be like, pop, one hit, they're done. Move
That's
on.
So I got a question, actually.
You gotta
I have
remember, the Grim Reaper does not die.
No.
Hang on.
That's
One.
misconception. They talk like he's a badass. He's
He's
lucky.
lucky as
Yeah.
dicks.
One,
He's not anything special.
I will say this: as horrific as Barry's downloadable costume may be, okay, Barry breaks the laws in Mercenaries mode because one of Barry's executions is he pulls out the revolver you're using and shoots people in the head, and it doesn't use your ammo.
Yes!
Barry says
That is
infinite ammo magnum.
But
I gotta-
whenever you
yeah.
buy it, it usually is infinite ammo.
So I got a question because I haven't played Mercenaries in like forever, so I don't even know this. Did they add Billy in it?
Billy
No.
Cohen will never show
No.
up in a game.
Yeah, he's never going to show back up again.
It's kinda like
Carlos
Carlos
Resident Evil
Oliveira.
0. He walked out into the woods,
Yep.
and at the time,
Like a dumb shit.
the dogs are roaming the woods. The hunters are set free.
Yep.
You know,
There's-
I
yeah, but
we know that got to
And
bring
even
the
if
archives
somehow
book.
that motherfucker managed to get out the woods, guess where he's going?
The city.
To the city.
Actually,
Which is
he
about to
probably
be
wouldn't
new.
go to the city.
He might not go to the city. He's a wanted fugitive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
true.
make sense.
So he'd probably be living up on the mountain somewhere.
Not only were there hunters and dogs and zombies out there, he might have
my.
ran into it. He might have ran into a Jehovah's Witness or two and got converted. That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
Oh,
never saw
God.
him again.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. The mansion is still on the outskirts of the city. City got nuked.
Weren't there two
Radiation
mansions?
done.
That's true too.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
city gets nuked.
Weren't there two mansions?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Technically,
It was
Technically,
the
yes.
officer school in Zero,
Which was
and
a
then the
mansion.
mansion.
I heard they were the exact same building.
Yeah,
They're not the same
construction
building.
is almost
Yeah, I mean,
the same.
it looks the same,
People
but it's
try
not.
to make it out to be the same, but if you watch the
I
end movie,
haven't played Zero,
Yeah.
so
well, I have, unfortunately.
I played-
Resident Evil on
Charles
a train.
did. Yes,
that
I know.
one?
I
That doesn't
played
last
it.
as long as you think. Yeah, the
Yeah.
train is only the first part. Then you crash into the officer training facility,
Yep.
Who built this building on train tracks?
which was modified from a mansion.
Yep.
Who builds a building on train tracks?
Both
Because
of those
Umbrella.
mansions, both of those mansions were not built
Oh.
by the Umbrella Corporation. They existed there pre-Umbrella, and the Umbrella Corporation bought the mansions, used one as a testing facility to house their people and do their tests, and the other they modified into a training facility.
Osborne and Spencer had the mansion built specifically.
Those were not Resident Evil mansions. They were
Spencer.
under a private owner originally.
Osborne,
Because in
yeah.
one of the games,
Spencer.
one of the games you can track down who the mansion belonged
Wesker
to.
killed
Yeah,
that
Spencer.
guy.
Stars. That's how Stars figures out to go to Europe.
Yep.
They chase down the Ashley, whatever.
The
it is-
Ashford?
Yeah, the Ashford family,
Yeah.
because evidently that first mansion from the first game is somehow owned by his family.
Yeah.
That's why.
If I remember
Chris-
correctly,
that's why
it's
Chris
in
Go there.
Zero. As you go through and you start picking up the files, it actually says that the first mansion was owned and created by the Ashford family.
I thought
It's a
the Resident
privately-
Evil 1 was mansion was Osborne Spencer's.
Privately
Because
owned mansion.
that's who Wesker goes to kill in the DLC.
Yeah,
When you
Wesker
lose
kills
Jill.
Spencer in 5. That's how Jill gets lost. Yeah.
Lost in
He's
Nightmares
like,
was-
you are no god, that is not your right. And he goes, my right now.
Yeah,
Do you
I've
ever
seen
you
that.
and
then Jill tackles
Then
him out of the
again,
window.
Chris is about to
be
get
fair,
neck
these
broke.
these games fall into, they're not as heavily because they are a continual storyline, but these games fall into the same pattern as most comic books. The stories, okay, the first 80-something issues of Spider-Man done by Stan Lee. Then somebody else comes in, Steve Ditko comes in and starts writing stories, and all the stuff that was talked about, unless he was fucking dick hard and read every book like, this is, I can't fucking get enough of this motherfucking Spider-Man, and then he fucking started writing from there.
Is that the
He
guy that
didn't
messed up
care.
his last name? Peter Palmer?
No, actually, yeah, there's a screw up in a couple of the books where for like 2 or 3 books, I have the issues, they refer to him as Peter Palmer.
Oops.
Nice.
Who the fuck is Peter Palmer?
And it says it all
It's
the
a
time.
fuck up, that's
people,
what it is.
People call him that, and it's written up in the dialogue boxes like
Because in
Peter
old comic
Palmer.
books, you didn't refer to somebody by just their first name.
Right.
Yep.
Hey there, Peter Palmer! That's perverted now that I think about it. Hey, Peter, you're a Peter Palmer. Oh.
But
That might have been a purpose thing.
the issue
Yeah.
that happens with these, not just comic books, but video games happen too. I guarantee, look through every game, look who wrote the story, the script. It's a
If
different
it
guy.
changes, then yeah.
So
Yeah.
if one guy didn't know the ins and outs of the first or second or third game perfectly, he could just make up whatever bullshit he wants, and,
And
he
then-
might be stepping on somebody else's toes.
There'll be-
Star Trek has the same problems.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The
true.
original series specifically stated that phasers were not available to us until a specific point in time. Spock says they were not available until the 23rd century.
Hey, Archer,
Then
check
Archer,
this out.
in the NX-1, on the first fucking episode, they open up a case. Our new weapons.
Prototype phasers.
These, like, phase pistols. It has 2 settings. Stun and kill. It would be wise not to confuse them. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can we label these?
How do you have that?
Yeah.
It didn't exist. It's not possible that they had
You
that.
got Tickle and Dead. That's what
Yeah.
you got.
And all these things that reach these giant storylines, they run into these problems. The only time you can avoid these issues is if you're running something like Metal Gear Solid, where luckily he's written all of
Yep.
it. He's had a
Yep.
lot of control.
Yeah. If you have one person doing every single everything, not a problem.
The next thing that we'll have to talk about in the next episode, this has been our Resident Evil 5 discussion.
I got to
We got-
talk.
We have to
RE6.
move to part 6, and I've never played it.
I've beat it with
I
everybody.
haven't played much of it.
I played the demo.
Then this will be interesting.
I
You
have,
beat it
I have
with
a
me.
funny story
Resident
for
Evil
that shit.
All
Boy,
right.
you talking about that one night?
Yep.
It's gonna be. Yeah, that's
Catch you
that guy.
next time.